David Elfin, Ryan O'Halloran at Redskin Park. Sunday's game with the undefeated New Orleans Saints, not a division game like the last two with the Cowboys and the Eagles, but a pretty big game. Strange thing for the Redskins right now is their offense seems to be playing better, Ryan, more guys that get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see this offense operating if Liddell Betts hadn't gotten hurt in the Denver game, or the Dallas game. But, you know, the thing about this offense is it still revolves around the protection and Jason Campbell. He's become more comfortable with his line. He knows where the pressure is going to come from, and he's gaining more trust in his second-year receivers. And they just seem to have a better tempo, a better rhythm, and you don't have every drive expecting to be 3 and out.
Last week, though, the running game really didn't do very much against the Eagles. They're making a change at right guard to get a bigger body in there with Mike Williams. Does that make all the difference?
I don't really see it making a big difference. You know, the Redskins, if they're able to run it against New Orleans, that means they're not getting blown out. So I'm tending to think they're going to have to try to win this game through the air. But, you know, what the running game is, teams dared them to run. Philadelphia dared them to run early. They got a couple of gashes, but as soon as they put that safety down, this offensive line wasn't able to block guys one-on-one, and Rock and Ganther were basically shut down.
I think the two of us have been pretty skeptical, and we're not alone in this, about the second-year receivers, that they really have done very much, worked very hard. Are you buying this now that they've really made this jump, or they're just getting more production because they're playing more?
I think in terms of Fred Davis, I think what you're seeing is a real deal. His only thing is he was playing behind a Pro Bowler. The other two guys, Devin and Malcolm, don't have as many excuses, but I do like what they're doing in terms of when Jason has to scramble, they're finding ways to find an open part of the field, break off their route, so they're obviously more aware of what they're supposed to do within the system.
The thing I like right now about those receivers is they're making big plays, which nobody else really was doing other than Santana Moss occasionally. I still think the Davis pick was a mistake because it's a luxury they didn't need, and they had Chris Cooley. Jason Campbell right now, what do you see from him?
I see a guy who is taking a pounding. He took at least 8 or 9 hits against Philadelphia, and they were pretty tough shots. But yeah, he's doing a lot of good things on third down, knowing when to scramble, when to slide around the pocket and make the throw downfield. And that's how their big plays have happened, is him avoiding the rush and then throwing downfield.
The Redskins defense is actually ranked first against the pass, but Drew Brees and the Saints have arguably the best pass offense in football. They just ate the Patriots alive on Monday night. I think Drew Brees had a perfect passer rating, 5 touchdowns. How do the Redskins, especially with D'Angelo Hall not playing, stop this offense? Yeah,
I think that number 1 ranking is a little misleading, and although the Redskins don't want to admit it, is that because teams have been able to run it, they haven't had to throw it. This is just a bad matchup all around. Even if Hall was available, you can't know how much Haynesworth's going to play. The only chance they have is to get a couple of deflections, maybe put some pressure on Brees for a sack, strip, fumble.
The only thing I think about is 3 years ago, this team had a really bad defense, and they actually held the Saints to 10 points in New Orleans. Now, New Orleans was definitely looking past them at that point. I can't see how they wouldn't be looking past them now on a short week, but still, I kind of have to agree with you that there's no way they can stay with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, it'd be one thing if the Saints came in this game 9-2 off a Monday night game, lead in division, but they're chasing history, so I would expect them to keep their eye on the ball, not overlook the Redskins.
Speaking of the Saints, we'll be back in our next segment talking a little more about them.